I'm not going to spend too long talking about the episode because it was very simple, very straightforward. It, you know, you could tell. I wonder, I wonder what I would think about the episode if I didn't know the circumstances regarding how it was shot. Like if I didn't know that this was, shot during COVID and everything, what I would think and how critical I would be. But because I do know that this was filmed as a bonus episode and it was filmed with all these COVID restrictions, I'm not really going to be very critical of it. Was it super exciting? No. Was it super interesting? No. Was it terrible? No. It had some good tense moments. Of course, we didn't care about any of the new people, and we're not worried about any of our people. I never for a second thought that anybody that I care about was in any danger in that episode. But that's okay. It was still some good, some good action, some good tense moments for what it was. I wasn't on the edge of my seat. Again, I didn't really think anybody was in any danger. Anybody that we cared about was in any danger. But, it wasn't bad. I really did love the scene between Maggie and Daryl. I thought that it went on too long. But it was really, really well delivered. Like I said during the reaction, that monologues are really hard to do, and that was a very, very long monologue, and Lauren just delivered it beautifully. So I think that this episode was primarily to just give us some, it was like an info dump for Maggie and what she's been doing, and to have Maggie and like to introduce us to Herschel, and to have Maggie and Negan be in, face to face, see each other face to face for the first time. I think it was a good decision to not have any dialogue between them. Her reaction was perfect. His reaction was perfect. It was perfect. The second time, when she goes into Alexandria and she just walks past him confidently, I really liked that. I would very much like her to move past her anger with Negan. She's never going to be okay with him. She's never going to. I wouldn't expect her to. I wouldn't. But, if I were her. But finding a way to live with him. If for no other reason than for the narrative, because I don't want to deal with this anymore, to be honest. Like, I think as far as I'm concerned, and I think as far as the majority, if not all of the audience is concerned, like, we're over it, right? We have accepted that Negan is a different person and that he's turned a corner, and we're over what he did to Glenn and Abraham. And I think that for the sake of, future storytelling, Maggie just has to learn how to put aside that anger, because she's been stuck in this reaction for seasons. And it needs to stop. I just think that that's for the sake of the show going forward, she needs to, find a way to get past her anger and move on. But his reaction, the way that he looked sad again, and then he looked sort of angry, and I was like, what's that about? I don't think he's actually going to do anything to her. So I'm not sure why he looked so angry. Maybe that was just like a pained expression. I liked that Carol was upfront with Maggie and told her, her involvement in everything. Carol is also somebody, for narrative purposes, I want them to kind of, I want her to get over her shit too. I've really, really enjoyed what they've done with Carol in season 10, but I don't want season 11 Carol to be the same Carol. Like, I want her to move on. So I had thought that the hilltop was destroyed, but there was no confirmation of that. And so I was kind of thinking that rather than wiping out Hilltop, what they might do is just have it be like heavily damaged and that it needs a lot of work. But based on what we're seeing here, it does actually look destroyed. And I mean, those fires would just rage and rage and rage, right? They would just burn until they burn themselves out because there was nobody sticking around to put them out. So I guess Hilltop is gone, which is really a bummer, but it makes sense moving into the final season, kind of condensing all of our people into primarily just one community, but Oceanside is also out there. I was really, really, really hoping that we'd find Connie in this episode, but I didn't really expect to. I don't expect to find Connie in the bonus episodes. I think that's a main story, season 11 type thing, but I hope we find her in the first goddamn episode because I miss Connie and I'm sick of her being gone. I understand why the actress left. I get it, but I want Connie back. Although in her absence, I have really just completely fallen in love with Kelly, which I loved her before. Like, I loved Kelly before, but it's been her missing her sister and dealing with her sister's disappearance has really given Kelly a lot to do. And like, it's just added some nice kind of emotional weight to her performance. It's added some nice layers, and I like seeing Kelly on her own. It seems like maybe this is kind of the first time she's ever really been on her own, because she said that Connie has always kind of taken care of her and looked after her. So and I really just absolutely adore Kelly's friendship with Daryl. I just love it so much. These new people, I'm not really impressed with the new people. I'm glad the one guy took his mask off finally, because that provided a moment for us to connect with him, and it showed how, you know, how scared he was, and so it gave him some vulnerability. That's great, but I need a lot more, which I'm sure we'll get. That's about it. You know, it was again, knowing like why it was made the way that it was. I'll also say that there were some shots that really made me motion sick. You could tell that this was shot differently in some scenes, but in other scenes, I couldn't tell. So whatever difference there is between digital and 16 millimeter film, whatever the difference is, for the most part, I couldn't tell. Some scenes looked blurry, and I don't know if that was an artistic choice or if that's just because the digital camera wasn't focused. I don't know. But some of the handheld shots were just like too shaky and made me feel sick personally. So I don't know. And I also thought some of the music was weird, but I liked some of the music. So, I mean, again, like I said, I'm not going to be too critical because I know that these episodes were put together under very special and unique circumstances. So, anyway, it was a decent episode, and yeah, that's all I've got for now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!